diary, translated from the original. Saturday. I am almost a whole day old now. I arrived yesterday. That is as it seems to me, and it must be so. Everything looks better today than it did yesterday. In the rush of finishing up yesterday, the mountains were left in a ragged condition, and some of the plains were so cluttered with rubbish and remnants that the aspects were quite distressing. Noble and beautiful works of art should not be subjected to haste. And this majestic new world is indeed a most noble and beautiful work, and certainly marvelously near to being perfect, notwithstanding the shortness of the time. There are too many stars in some places and not enough in others, but that can be remedied presently, no doubt. The moon got loose last night and slid down and fell out of the scheme. A very great loss. It breaks my heart to think of it. There isn't another thing among the ornaments and decorations that is comparable to it for beauty and finish. It should have been fastened better. If we could only get it back again. But of course, there's no telling where it went to. I wish we had 5 or 6. I would never go to bed. I should never get tired of lying on the moss bank and looking up at them. Stars are good too. I wish I could put some in my hair, but I suppose I never can. You would be surprised to find out how far off they are. They do not look it. When they first showed last night, I tried to knock some down with a pole, but it didn't reach, which astonished me. And then I tried clods, till I was all tired out, but I never got one. It is because I am left-handed and cannot throw good. So I cried a little, which was natural, I suppose, for one of my age. And after I rested, I got a basket and started for a place on the extreme rim of the circle where the stars were close to the ground. And I could get them with my hands, which would be better anyway, because I could gather them up tenderly then and not break them. But it was farther than I thought, and at last I had to give up. I was so tired I couldn't drag my feet another step, and besides, they were sore and hurt me very much. I couldn't get back home. It was too far and turning cold. But I found some tigers and nestled in among them and was most adorably comfortable, and their breath was sweet and pleasant, because they live on strawberries. I had never seen a tiger before, but I knew them in a minute by the stripes. I followed the other one around yesterday afternoon at a distance to see what it might be for if I could, but I was not able to make out. I think it is a man. I had never seen a man, but it looked like one, and I feel sure that that is what it is. I realize that I feel more curiosity about it than any of the other reptiles, if it is a reptile. And I suppose it is, for it has frowsy hair and blue eyes and looks like a reptile. I was afraid of it at first and started to run every time it turned around, for I thought it was going to chase me. But by and by, I found it was only trying to get away. So after that, I was not timid anymore, but tracked it along several hours about 20 yards behind, which made it nervous and unhappy. At last, it was a good deal worried and climbed a tree. I waited a good while, then gave it up and went home. Today, the same thing over. I've got it up a tree again. Sunday. It is up there yet, resting, apparently. It looks to me like a creature that is more interested in resting than anything else. It would tire me to rest so much. It tires me just to sit around and watch the tree. I do wonder what it is for. I never see it do anything. It used language. It gave me a thrill, for it was the first time I had ever heard speech except my own. I did not understand the words, but they seemed very expressive. When I found it could talk, I felt a new interest in it, for I love to talk. I talk all day, and in my sleep too, and I am very interesting. But if I had another to talk to, I could be twice as interesting, and I would never stop if desired. If this reptile is a man, it isn't an it, is it? This would be ungrammatical, wouldn't it? I think it would be he. I think so. And in that case, one would parse it thus. Nominative, he. Dative, him. Possessive, his'n. Well, I will consider it a man, and call it he until it turns out to be something else. This will be handier than having so many uncertainties. Next week, Sunday. All the week I tagged around after him and tried to get acquainted. I had to do the talking because he was shy, but I didn't mind it. He seemed pleased to have me around, and I used the sociable we a good deal because it seemed to flatter him to be included. Wednesday. We are getting along very well indeed now and getting better and better acquainted. He does not try to avoid me anymore, which is a good sign and shows that he likes to have me with him. That pleases me, and I study to be useful to him in every way I can so as to increase his regard. During the last day or two, I have taken all the work of naming things off his hands, and this has been a great relief to him, for he has no gift in that line, and is evidently very grateful. He can't think of a rational name to save him, but I don't like to see him that I'm aware of this defect. Whenever a new creature comes along, I name it before he has time to expose himself by an awkward silence. In this way, I have saved him many embarrassments. I have no defect like this. The minute I set eyes on an animal, I know what it is. I don't have to reflect a moment. The right name comes out instantly, just as if it were an inspiration, as no doubt it is, for I am sure it wasn't in me a half a minute before. I seem to know just by the shape of the creature and the way it acts what animal it is. Thursday, my first sorrow. Yesterday he avoided me and seemed to wish I would not talk to him. I could not believe it. I thought there was some mistake, for I loved to be with him and loved to hear him talk. And so how could it be that he could feel unkind toward me when I had not done anything